You're listening to Advice Line with Roy Masters. Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883.
And welcome back to Advice Line. I'm David Masters, and I suspect that you all have something in your room with you that you would rather not have. But what you do is you make the mistake of identifying with it, whatever it is. If it's anger, you identify with it. If it's fear, you identify with it. If it's greed or lust or anxiety. But I'm telling you, it's not you. So now 800-866-8883, if you have a condition that you want to overcome, we have to help you understand that you can transition from being in a place with a dark energy, and you can move from that place into a place where the light is, and that energy cannot come with you. So now I have Stephanie in Nevada, and we're talking about this because you have discovered now that you have this anger, right?
Right.
But now I'm going to say this to you again. Have you thought about what I said about this being in this space with this dark energy, but it's not you?
Yeah, I have. Mm-hmm.
Now let me explain this to you. You don't have anger. Anger has you. Have you ever heard the expression, I was gripped by fear?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel that you're gripped by anger?
Oh, yeah.
Like it just comes over you and it just...
Yeah.
Right? Somebody says something on TV and, oh, you stupid!
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it like that. I've gotten better at letting the little resentments in daily life, like traffic and things like that, go.
Right.
But this deeper one that's just kind of always there and prevents me from sleeping really well, I finally realized last night that I know what it is. I'm mad at God for what's happened to me, what's happened in my life.
Okay, but
in my life,
what's happened in your life? How terrible could it be?
Well, it's not terrible relative to a lot of other people, but I feel like and I'm just going to say it as irrational as it sounds, and I'm rational enough to know that
No, say it.
I know how it sounds, but when I'm really at my weakest, I feel like I am being punished, and I don't know why.
But you see, Stephanie, you're just right. Now, we're going to walk you through the doorway into the light. Because you have to understand this, and this will change your whole life. Anybody that's listening, understand this. Your life will change. And this is what I want you to understand. It is not you that's being punished. It is it in you. Because you cannot go through your life with it living your life through you, living its life through you. Everybody has an id entity. Everyone. Now, you are fortunate because you are aware that something is wrong. But you keep saying I. And that's a mistake everyone makes. It is not you. But it's something that happened to you. It's something that happened to you that affected you as a child.
That's what I'm mad about, though. And I'm mad that...
No.
No,
you're not mad. No, it is mad. It is a baby throwing a tantrum inside of an adult. You're an adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inside of you, there's this baby crying, wah, wah, I'm unhappy. And it wants you to feel what it feels. Do you know the word sympathy? It means to feel the same. So when you have sympathy for someone, you feel what they feel. And I'm telling you that you have a sympathetic relationship with this victim identity. That's not you. It sure sounds like you. It has your voice. It feels like you. But it is not you.
Well, because I have that sympathetic relationship with it, it's still there. And
I gotcha.
Almost 40 years old, and I've not.
No. But that doesn't. You know what? I know, but that doesn't matter. See, that's what I call outcome-based thinking. So you've obviously gone through some schooling. You're a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
So you were able to accomplish that, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So you have accomplishments under your belt.
Yeah, but not the emotional kind.
I know. I understand that. But let me ask you this. What drove you to want to be a nurse or whatever particular thing you do? Why did you choose that profession?
I chose speech pathology because I studied the brain. I like the brain, and I think it's fascinating. I like what your dad does, and I think that it's a fascinating field to help people overcome limitations.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And the reason you chose that was because you wanted to overcome your own limitations, true?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what do you perceive to be your limitations?
There's so many.
Just start with the biggest one.
I have, I just have a lot of emotional pain that prevents me from really connecting with people.
But see, again, you're identifying it. You have emotional pain. But what if you changed it to this? Emotional pain has you.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a noose around your neck. Is that noose you? No.
No, but because it's there, though.
Okay, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to walk you into that next room. Just stay with me because we're going to take one more break. Well, stay with me, okay?
Okay.
1-800-866-8883. This is an aha moment you can have. And also, if you're struggling with these things, you need the Cure Stress device. Go to FHU.com. Read the book, How Your Mind Will Make You Well.
What's on your mind? Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883. You're listening to Advice Line with Roy Masters. Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883.
Yes, it is Advice Line. I'm David Masters, 1-800-866-8883. You don't really have the problems that you think you do. And that is the secret. That's the big secret. It's really what makes the whole world go around, is that if you realized that the problems are because of what you think, they are the direct result of the fact that you think. I think, therefore I am. So if you think you have problems, therefore you have problems. And you think you have problems. Everyone thinks they have problems. But if you were to step back and be objective, and you would see how much freedom you actually have, and be able to contrast the subconscious self from a objective perspective, to contrast what choices you have as opposed to what choices you don't have, you would see that you have infinitely more choices to do anything. You have more choices than you would imagine. And that it is the idea that you have a problem that you struggle with and you feed yourself to it. And I've used the example of quicksand. Let me talk to Stephanie. Stephanie.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You've got to understand this, because the secret to this whole thing is not the brain. It is the soul. And the soul is in a room. It's in a compartment of your being. Okay? And what happens is that there are forces constantly trying to shape you. And it's the outside world. It's the world that we live in. It's the environment that we've grown up in. So, for example, if you take a look at any person coming from any culture, they grow up and they become a direct reflection of the culture that they grew up in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have Indian people and Chinese people and Germans and Swiss and Americans. We all have these cultural identities. And so what you have to understand is that part of it is the brain, because the brain is the part that receives the information. And it's the part that does the deciphering of the information. But then you have the complex emotional self, and that is where the play of light and shadow takes place. This is where the forces of good and evil are at war. Okay, it's not the brain. The brain is the meat. It's the self within the self, the soul that's in the compartment of your being that is constantly being pulled at, and that's why you haven't been able to sleep. I'm sorry to keep doing this to you. Stay with me one more segment, okay?
Okay.
Okay, because we're going to get to this. 1-800-866-8883. Visit FHU.com. See, the Cure Stress device, it separates you, the observing self, from the subjective self, where all the thinking is going on. That's when you begin to discover a whole new way of living. FHU.com.
What's on your mind? Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883. You're listening to Advice Line with Roy Masters. Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883.
Yes, this is Advice Line. Program number K7771. If you're interested, you can get copies at FHU.com. And I'm David Masters sitting in while my dad takes a night off. We're talking to Stephanie in Nevada. Stephanie, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, any thoughts on what I've been saying?
Yeah, what I think is that I understand what you're saying about the light and shadow play. If I didn't understand it, I don't think that I would get any of this stuff, and I wouldn't be meditating, and I wouldn't be refraining from sex with my boyfriend. And I understand that I'm fighting that I'm in the spiritual battle all the time, and I have to remain strong. And I know that temptation is there, and it wants me to feel the way that it wants me to feel, and it's winning when I feel bad. But what is eating away at me is that I get it now, and I see what's happened, but I lost 40 years of my life.
No. You see, you can't look at the water that's gone under the bridge.
But the reason I look at that is
but can I tell you? I know, I understand. But let me explain to you something. It could be worse. You could have waited. You could have waited another 20 years.
I agree. It could always be worse. It doesn't change the fact that I'm angry, and I know that I'm angry at God for the fact that that I was born into it, and that it got the best of me, and
but hold on.
Allowed me.
Hold on. See, again, I want you to understand this because I know you can. It is the very evil that is angry, that is telling you, making up this story. This is a story you're telling yourself. I was born into an evil world, surrounded by evil, and the evil got to me. And it's the evil that's telling you, you have a right to be angry. There would be something wrong with you, this evil suggests, if you weren't angry about this. But
I don't think I have a right to be angry, though.
Okay, but the evil, want to be angry. But the evil in you, it keeps talking to you, and you keep struggling with it. And you know what you need to do is realize, identify it. It isn't you. It is not you.
But I lost.
No. That's all it's got now. See, that's its hook that's in you. It's a hook. It's bait. You're a fish. You bite. That idea that you've lost 40 years of your life, that's bait with a hook on it.
But I have lost something that I can't get, and that's that I can't have children. It's too
sure
late.
You can have children. You can adopt a child that somebody else doesn't want and be a great parent. I have a family member who did that. I know people who have done that. And adoptive parents are sometimes much better parents because it's a very conscious choice.
And I know that too, but I still feel like that's easy to say to somebody, but when you're that somebody,
no. But see, even that. See, all the ideas that you have in your head, they're all baited hooks. Because every one of them, once you bite it, ouch, it hurts. When you think of those thoughts have a lot of power over you. And I'm telling you, you're in a room, and in that room it's a dark energy, and you are a fish in that room, and it puts something on a hook, and you've lost 40 years of your life. You can't have children, and you bite. See, and then you feel the hurt, and then the hurt turns into the hate. And why are you blaming God for this anyway? This is not God's fault. But the thing that is in there has to blame somebody, and it's going to blame the God that created you. It is going to blame God because evil blames God for everything, just like Obama blames George W. Bush. It's that simple. Evil wants to turn you into a hater of the very thing that you need to save you. So it tells you, you hate God. You don't hate God. You, Stephanie, do not hate God. It, on the other hand, does, and you're in agreement with it. When you bite that hook, you go along with it, and it drags you through life. And I'm just saying to you, step back for a minute. Just step back one time, next time those thoughts come to you, and just watch. Watch the thought. See what happens when you observe this thought trying to get you to bite this hook with, and once you see it, you'll realize you can look at that thought and let it go and let it pass. Just like a person who needs to lose weight. They go to the refrigerator, they stand there for a minute, and then they deliberate. Should I or shouldn't I? See? Have you ever had that experience?
Mm-hmm.
And then something to you says, no, not tonight. I'm not going to eat that thing tonight. And the same objective self, the reason why you're meditating is to strengthen the objective self so that that self will say to you, no, not this time. And then it gets easier every time that thought comes and it tries to tell you, you've lost 40 years of your life, you can't have children. No, not this time. I'm not going to give in to that this time. I'm going to stay objective. And that's when the freedom happens. That's when real freedom happens. But it's not you. If you don't see that it's not you, you're going to go on struggling with it. It is not you. That's salvation. If you think it's you, you can't be saved. Salvation comes from knowing it is not you. That's why Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. FHU.com, that's where you need to go. I'll be right back.